Hi, welcome in. I go by Fox, and if you stumbled this by complete accidents, you probably just like tattoos or you're from a community Discord. Welcome in. It's a tattoo tour. Any other non-tattoo information will be down in the description, so please just read that instead. Otherwise, we'll just jump in. There should be timestamps along the video that tells you the tattoos, I guess, if you want to skip to a specific one. Otherwise, I'll be going from my oldest to my newest tattoo, as well as going through the year I got it done, how much it cost, the pain, the placement, and how long it took. And there'll be photos, if you like photos, and a summary of the tattoo. Let's start off with my very first one, the fox. I got it in 2018, June of 2018, I believe. So I've had it for about 5.5 years, I think. I'd say the pain was maybe like 5 out of 10, now that I can compare it to my other tattoos. It hurt close to the inner elbow. Do not remember the price. It took about 4 hours. I had it in 2 sessions. I had the colour and then I had the outline and the colour. The tattoo was coloured at one point. If you know me, you know it's kind of like grayscale. It was coloured, but turns out that it wasn't my fault that it faded from the colour it was. It just, not to blame the artist, but also they were an apprentice. Just to keep that in mind, if you're going to apprentice, sometimes they do, they do mess up. They're starting out, so it was coloured. The colour faded after about a year or so, but it still looks fantastic. And it kind of worked out for the best, because now I had a plan, well, kind of ended up having a plan for what I wanted for the rest of my arm, which was a patchwork sleeve that I'm working on very slowly, but surely. And I got this relined in September 2021. The Cubone I got in June of 2019. It was also 5 out of 10, but because I was sitting on for so long in the chair and it was on my thigh, I got up to like maybe a solid 7 because I was very tired. It took a hot minute to get that done, but it's black and white and slightly shaded. I think it was about 180 at the time. Again, this was like apprentice rates. However, when I got them both relined, I did pay a bit extra, so I think for both of them. No, I don't know the price. I'm not even going to give you a price because I don't know. It was quite a bit for when I got it relined. But the reason why I wanted a fox, I forgot to mention, as my first tattoo, because I like foxes. They're just an animal that I like, that's it. The Cubone is one of my favourite Pokemon, that's it. I got a year afterwards because I was like, oh, I want another tattoo, and the artist was like, oh, I'm doing Pokemon. And I just went, sure, and I booked myself in for a Pokemon tattoo, and it's quite big. It's a thigh piece, so it's quite a decent-ish size Cubone on my thigh that I forget that it's there because I don't really see it a lot. So that one is about 4 years old, maybe 4.5, and the Cubone took about 5 hours with breaks because I am soft. After the 2019, I graduated in 2019. The panini happened, and then my next tattoo is actually my cat. Photo somewhere here is the tattoo of my cat Rhea. She is named after one of Saturn's moons. You have a fresh photo here. This was I got it initially without the stars. It was maybe like a 7.8 out of 10. It was spicy. It hurt. The pain was there. About £60 again. Got it done by an apprentice the first time around. The artist is incredible. She's done a few of my other tattoos now. It took about an hour. It's about 2.5 years old, I want to say, maybe. In 2022, around March time, I've got my shrooms and wild strawberries. I think that one is one of my more painful tattoos. It's at the back of my right arm, above the elbow. It is a squishy area, so it bled. It didn't stop bleeding. It bled through 2 second skins, maybe 3. The artist who did it is fantastic. He knew what he was doing. The tattoo's around 2 years old. This one actually relates to my childhood in my native country. I used to go pick up wild strawberries and mushrooms with my great aunt and my grandma. If you watched the little tattoo Q&A reel, you would know about this. Go watch it. And those 2 women were actually the ones that brought me up. In my childhood. They were my like heroes. That sounds so cheesy and corny, but they were the 2 women that brought me up, and they were always with me. So I wanted to make something, have something on my body for them. I wanted to have a little memoir. And also the design went through 3 different variations, which I'll put up on the screen. The first one I didn't like because it just, the layout didn't work for, I just didn't like the layout. That's it. I'm not even going to explain myself. I just did not like the layout at all. It kind of didn't work with what I felt like I liked. The second one was good, but the mushroom was big. It was too chunky. And then I was the one that suggested using funeral bell caps for the third variation, and the tattoo artist did that and it turned out perfect. So we went with that. It took about 2 hours and it cost £250. I've also not been adding in the cost of the deposits. I think I add the deposits in with the cost. Anyway, it cost £250. I think the £50 was the deposit, so it was 200 on the day. Anyway, that's the wild strawberries and mushrooms piece. The same year, which is 2021? Nope, 2022. In the same year of 2022, in July, I got the Volatile Mosskin from Hollow Knight and I added the stars onto the Rhea tattoo. When I tell you, it wasn't as bad as you think it sounds. If you have tattoos in those places, it's spicy. But having my Volatile Mosskin is on my ankle. After getting that one done, we did my wrist stars and the wrist hurt so much less than the ankle. So, you know, it's fine. I'll give the Volatile Mosskin a 9 and the Stars edition was a 7 because whilst it wasn't as bad, it was still kind of spicy. For both of them, it was £120. Volatile Mosskin is because I didn't want to do Hornet and I didn't want to do the Night, but I wanted to do something that links back to the game because Hollow Knight is very close to my heart. I absolutely adore that game. I streamed it. I made a lot of memories from streaming it. And the Volatile Mosskin in the game, it's an enemy that if you go near it, it explodes with gas. It doesn't die, it just explodes with some gas. But then when you kill it, it explodes with gas. I'm lactose intolerant.
Cheese.
The addition of stars is because I felt like my wrist looked a bit naked without anything extra, so we added the stars in and it looks good. It functions well on my wrist. So it's healed. It'll be about 2 years this year. And the colour has stayed on the Volatile Mosskin and the lines on my cat are fine. I think it aged after 2 years quite well. I think it looks good. That is also done by the same artist who did my cat. She added the stars and then the Volatile Mosskin. Then we have in the same year of 2022, I have the Moth. That one didn't hurt. I gave it a 2 out of 10. It did not hurt. It was about £70, I believe, on the outer arm, so you can probably see if I do this. There it is. There's my child. It's about 2 years? No, I don't know because I can't do maths. Maybe it's 2 years at the end of this year, so it's about 1.5. Anyway, it was a October Halloweeny flash piece and I've always wanted a moth. I really like the look of moths, but I'm absolutely terrified of them. And it's cute, it worked on my arm. Again, we're going for nature sleeve. This whole arm is nature sleeve based. I don't think I mentioned it at the start, so I'll mention it now. It's nature sleeve patchwork, so the top is colour going down into black and white. That's the idea I have. That's the idea I'm going with. The moth worked well. I got the moth. It was cute. It barely hurt. Loved it. Thanks. And I got the moth in the same studio where I got the mushroom and wild strawberry piece, but from a different artist. The moth took half an hour. 2023, I got the sword and my pear, which done by the same artist as my moth. The sword, this one, oh, did my arm just click? The sword. I'd say the sword was maybe like a 7 out of 10. Again, it was spicy, there's colour in it, but it wasn't horrendous. The pear was maybe like a 5, maybe a 6. It swelled up a little bit. It was a little bit painful, but it's fine. It's fine. It was £250 for both. It's about 2.5 hours. So the sword is actually Zireael from The Witcher. It's Ciri's sword. And the flowers are lilacs, which is Yennefer's flower. The Witcher series fandom, I don't know what to call it. The Witcher in general is one of my favourite franchises. Fun fact, didn't actually finish the game until I watched the first season of The Witcher TV series. And then I went, oh, this is fun. And then I went and I played through the game and I finished the game in like 2 months because I did nothing but play the game. I've recently started reading the books. By recently, in the last year, I think I've read like 3 or 4 books. It's a slow ride. They're hefty, alright? It's intense. And the pair is actually related to Animal Crossing franchise, which is also a game series, if you didn't know. Great, fantastic. It's a game that I've been playing since I was about 10 maybe. I got it on the DS. I got Wild World, and I got all the other ones since. I didn't want to get the Leaf from Animal Crossing. I wanted to get something that fits my arm, although a Leaf would have fit my arm. However, I wanted to initially get the fruits in a band across my arm. Top upper arm. However, we'll get round to the Kitsune tattoo situation later. The Kitsune end up being bigger than plans, so the plans for the fruits changed. But I wanted to go with the fruit because when you start off a game or an island, you get assigned one of the 5 fruits in the game, and I always got pears, so I got a pear. However, I thought I was only gonna go with 1 fruit. I lied to myself. 2023 also got the whale. I got the whale. It was very spontaneous, but it was £300. It took about 3 hours. I was off with my partner somewhere and we came back on the bus and I got off the bus and I went, I really want a marine slash fish based tattoo situation. It was a Wednesday and then I got a tattoo booked on a Friday and I have not regretted this one. I actually drafted up, it was going to be 2 flash pieces from the tattoo artist's flash. Instead of going for the flash botanical leaves that they had on the flash, they went ahead and did a freehand of the plants, which I absolutely adore. It works really, really well with the place that it is. It will be June, so that's what, like 6, 7, 8 months healed? It'll be a year in June. So it's still not even a year old. It's a baby whale shark. The whale shark didn't hurt that much. It was a 6 out of 10. However, we have the white dots, which actually they're still here. I can see them. So I'd say it was between a 6 and a 9, depending on what he was doing, what colors he was doing. And then we get to September of 2023, it's the Kitsune. So the Kitsune was probably a 6.9 out of 10. It was about £350 with a £50, well the £50 deposit was already in there, so it's 300 on the day. Took about 3 hours and a half maybe. It took a bit longer because I kept taking breaks and we kept talking a lot. The artist who did my Kitsune was the same one who did my Rhea tattoo and my Volatile Mosskin. So this was meant to be a different flash. It was meant to be one of like a cute little red fox with some, I want to say tulips or Jacob Lattice flowers. I'm not sure, I can't remember. I don't think I have a photo of it anymore. But messaged her and she's like, I don't have this anymore, but I'm happy to do something similar. So I went, no, let's do something completely different. I don't know where this idea came from. I think I went through her pieces that she's done and I saw a lot of, because she does a lot of Japanese-esque tattoos or like inspired by the Japanese folklore and Japanese kind of like traditional, but not traditional. It's kind of like her own style because she also does anime-based works, a lot of Studio Ghibli. I know I said it wrong. So I went with a Kitsune. I got Kitsunes, Japanese mischievous fox spirits. They're cute. I gave her some ideas of pieces I saw that I wanted to be part of it, like the little stars, the blue stars, and the bells. And I think I came in for a consultation. It was going to be smaller than it is. I think I actually do have somewhere the size it was meant to be, and then it wasn't. See this? See if I can stand up for you. It was meant to be slightly smaller. You can see that it's coming out at the bottom. But I went, let's go bigger, which did mean that the band that I wanted around here for the fruit would not work. However, I know full well that it makes more sense to go all out on your what is this, upper arm, outer arm area, because it's quite like it makes more sense to have one big thing rather than several small things. For me, anyway. Other people might disagree. That's fine. This is my opinion. So I went for a bigger piece. I absolutely adore it. This was in September, so it's about 4 months. It's probably my favorite piece today. I love all my tattoos, but I think this was my bigger piece today, apart from the Cubone. This one's more complex. It has more color in it. It has more design on it, and I love it. And then we get to the two recent ones, which I was going to record this video way back in September, and then I got the Kitsune, and I was like, right. And then I didn't have time because I got 2 jobs. In December of 2023, so these are not really, it's been about a month, maybe just over a month, they're not fully healed. But I got the apple and the orange of my fruit basket, which this is going to be, we're missing the what is it, the peach and the cherry from Animal Crossing. That is booked. I've booked those. It's gonna be February. Whenever this video releases, I've got that booked already, so I'm not gonna remake this video. I'm not doing it. I don't have any healed photos, so let me just... This was painful. These were incredibly painful. I would say a solid 8, if not 9 out of 10. It was about 250 for both. About 1 or 2 hours, maybe 3, I don't know. I took too many breaks. I was on my period. It was awful. Plus, I'm usually very sensitive. When I have my tattoos done, my skin flares up a lot. I don't know, I've got very sensitive skin. All the tattoo artists I've been to say that I have perfect tattooed skin. But legitimately, she could tell that my arm was about to give out if she did anything extra. But she's also the one that did my pear and my sword and my moth. So I thought she would be perfect for my fruit bowl punch. But that's my plan for this inner arm. Is two more fruits. It was painful, and I have to do it all over again soon. Wish me luck. And that's it. That is all the tattoos I have so far. If you've been waiting for this video a long time, if you're in my Discord, I've had this plan since last year. In the summer after doing a charity stream, and it was an unlocked milestone, and I just didn't do it for ages. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you were interested in what I have. If you don't know who I am, but you watch this anyway, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little tattoo tour. Otherwise, I do gaming videos, etc, etc. You just look at my channel. If you haven't watched the Q&A that came before this video, here it is somewhere, I don't know where. Enjoy, please watch it. It has some questions some lovely people in my community asked and I answered. Anyway, thank you for watching. Have a lovely rest of your day. Goodbye.